right, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Two Player Podcast with myself and Hamsolo. Ham, how are you doing today? What have you been up to?
Come on, man. I'm tired
I'm.
of
I
this
didn't
fuck.
ask. I didn't ask what you were playing. I'm saying, what you been up to, bud? If you want to
Oh
tell me what you've
man.
been playing, then that's fine. I'm fine with that too.
I don't know what to say anymore on that
Oh
part. I
my
know.
god.
But as for what's been going on, it's been playing games, watching my wife rip and tear through Halo. In fact, my wife was like, "Why doesn't Matt ever play with me whenever I invite him to Halo?" And I was like,
Did you
"I
invite
don't
me?
know." Exactly.
I
And I
didn't even
was
know
like,
she
and I
invited
was just
me.
like, I was like, you're inviting them, and she's like, yeah, and I was like, he probably just doesn't even think about it because he thinks it's probably me using the wrong account or something like
I
that.
don't even remember seeing an invite, but yeah, whenever I do get an invite from her, I'm thinking it's you. I'm thinking it's
There
you
you
on the
go.
wrong account.
So if you ever see a Halo invite from Kalella, that's my wife wanting to play Halo.
Okay, I'll
She's
keep that in mind.
and she's been on a goddamn tear. Like last night, I'm not kidding. We got home from work, or yeah, she got home from work. Um, and she literally walked in the door, said hi to me, went to the restroom, and sat right on my computer and started playing it until she went to bed. She did make dinner, but like she made dinner like in between matches of Halo.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
like she went and threw a steak in the air fryer,
Hmm.
came back and played a game of Halo. Steak was done, cut up the steak, came back and played Halo.
Yeah.
Went and cut up the vegetables and stuff, came back and played Halo, made my plate, and then went back and played Halo. Like
Mm-hmm.
we had steak tacos last night all around her playing Halo. And she's got me running around the house like a little fucking errand boy. Hey, can you get this for me? Can you grab this? Can you go do this? Can you take that stuff out the oven real quick? And I'm just like, oh my God, like, no. Like, no,
That,
stop. Turn off
dude,
Halo for like 20 minutes and get everything just done.
dude,
But she just couldn't do it.
that's one
She
of the
couldn't.
things with an air fryer too. Is like, dude, I'll put something in the air fryer and do anything else for 15 minutes. I'll do no prep in that 15 minutes. I'll put something in and I'll go right back to doing whatever I was doing, and I'll come back later. That's like, I you can say that's a downside, but that's also a benefit to having an air fryer, is you don't got to do a whole lot. But
You
yeah,
sure don't.
dude. I mean, Halo. Speaking of Halo, they're kind of. I mean, not kind of. They're having a full blown renaissance. With Halo. In fact, I believe there's also a new event out. Just came out yesterday. I believe the third Tenrai event. Yo, Tom, what's up? Appreciate you for stopping by, bud. Actually, need to share this out on Twitter again. But yeah.
She's she's gold 4 or 5 in snipers right now. She's trying to get
Oh
the
shit, she's
platinum.
playing snipers.
Yeah, she's a goddamn menace.
Yeah, dude. If you're
She's
playing,
like, "You want to play with me?" And I'm like, "Not sniper."
yeah. Once you
Like,
get
I
to the
don't want
point,
to do that.
once you get to the point where you're actively playing the snipers mode in Halo, then you're a menace. You're a demon.
Yeah, yeah, she's cooked. She is completely cooked. So it just is what it is. I'm just kind of fall back, and I'm just kind of playing Starfield in my own lane right now. I'm 100% cool with it. Um, and she's
Oh,
happy with it. Because I can play it. Hey, man, I'm telling you, shout out to Xbox. Play anywhere, it's kind of stuff, man. With
mm-hmm.
Halo and Starfield being under the Xbox umbrella, I can mosey around from Xbox to PC, and my wife can do the same with Halo.
Yeah.
Um, so if I don't feel like playing on the Xbox, I can hop on the PC. The wife tripping. I want to use the computer. I'll hop on the Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Like it's phenomenal, man. Being able to do all this, it's crazy. I mean, think about it. Like I come from a time where I'm lucky to have the correct inputs on the TV to play my console. To
Yeah.
now I'm able to play it on multiple different systems and my cell phone.
Yep. I
Right?
remember in order to play for me, like my friend group when I was a kid, in order to play Halo 2 or not Halo 2, Halo CE, I brought my Xbox down the street to spend the night at my friend's house who had a Nintendo 64 at the time. Whereas now, let's say that friend has an Xbox, I can just sign in on his Xbox and we can play. And
Yeah.
that's wild. That's a wild time. That's a
I
wild
tell you
time.
what's terrifying though. I tell you one thing that's terrifying.
What's up?
And I hate to interrupt you, but the one thing that's terrifying, and especially for Starfield, it's syncing your data.
Yeah, dude. What
It's
I've
not
done,
exactly comfortable yet.
yeah, what I've started doing is like I'll play on the PC at night, and then before I go to bed, I get on Xbox. But what I do is when I'm done playing on PC, I like shut down the game entirely. I save, shut it down entirely, and then I wait like 5 full minutes, and then I boot up my Xbox. I haven't had any issue. Well, I take that back. I've had no issues except for one very big issue with syncing, and that is I lost about an hour of progress because it just didn't sync right, and then I messed up and hit load the last save, and the last save was like from an hour earlier. Tom, hey Tom, if you comment again, you can be third as well. You can be first, second, and third, bud. Hey, just keep going. Honestly, drive it up. Let's get to like 10th, 11th, 12th, whatever you want to do. I really don't care. I'm fine with it, bud. But yeah, man, it's I guess for myself, it's the same. Starfield. I've done nothing but play Starfield. I take that back. I played Titanfall 2 because it's fixed, which would have been a talking point this week had Tuesday not happened, and just just all the things that happened on Tuesday. So before we get into that, we'll talk about just some quick things. Did you see Bethesda announced 10 million players for Starfield?
Yes, I did. Actually, the way I seen it was that one dude with like the red beard or whatever posted um he is just like negative publicity, and then he showed like a train going through the bus,
Oh,
and it said
Stein, yeah,
Starfield. Yeah, Stein. There
yeah,
you go. Yeah,
I
Stein
saw
posted that,
that.
and it showed the train going through the bus saying Starfield 10 million players. So I was like, geez, what a graphic way to say that.
Right?
Yeah.
it's perfect timing too, because it's like Xbox is kind of internally up in flames at the moment, and then Bethesda's just like, we got you, don't worry about it. And it's just 10 million players. Phil Spencer's got to tweet on, he's got to send out tweets, just like acknowledging stuff, and it's just it was a fun day yesterday. It was a funny day. Uh,
It
but
was a crazy day.
dude, let's see, man. I mean, because there's so much here to talk about in this league that is, I let's just get started. Okay, so I have a tweet here that highlights everything that is included in this league. And there's something I watched your guys' show yesterday. I'm not sure if you talked about this, but we will be getting to it. Did you see stuff about the Xbox handheld?
Yeah, I seen something about an Xbox handheld on there. Man, I just don't know what, like, I don't even know what to think about that, to be
Hmm.
honest.
Hmm. See, I would be all for it. It depends on what it is because if my trepidation is when they say Xbox handheld, I'm thinking cloud, and I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Exactly. See, and that's one of my fears as well is that they're going to be like, this is Game Pass. All you need is what the PlayStation has, and I'll just be like, yo,
No.
two ass hardware devices. It's great. Two devices from two platforms, and it like to me it would be like an anomaly because I'd be like it'd be the first time that two major platforms make a handheld device that I'm like flat out not interested in.
Yeah, that just kind of
I've
stinks.
never had that happen. PlayStation's this is their first handheld that they made where I'm just like don't want it.
Oh yeah.
No, don't want it. I didn't even have a PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4, but I still had a PSP.
Dude,
Let that
oh
sink
yeah.
in.
Dude, the
You know what I
PSP
mean?
was a shit. Yeah, dude.
Uh, like so like to see so I'm like thinking about it. I'm just like, man, so like if I didn't have a PS5, I definitely wouldn't get the Portal because I mean
No.
it wouldn't even work.
Yep. Which is nuts. That is insane. It's a useless item. Useless item. I don't I don't know why you wouldn't just let people use their phones. Like they already sell the what's it called? The backbone.
Yeah.
Just let people use their phones and just call it a day. It's like $80 for backbone. It's a good amount of money. Like you're still making money. Let people do that. But yeah, dude, the Xbox handheld. What's that?
I was just gonna say it sounds silly, but like I don't know why, but it kind of makes me a little.
Makes you mad?
It makes me a little mad. It makes me a little salty. Like it's been very rare in my life that I could say like, man, I don't want none of that. Like it intrigues me how much I don't want something like that. Usually, like the new hot gaming thing comes out, and I'm just like kind of salivating a little bit, like but like like like
Sure.
like like even not being a huge Nintendo fan, like the Wii U, like I was kind of salivating for that, right? Like I'm not even interested. Like at the time, I wasn't interested in not a damn game on the Wii U because I was satisfied with what I had on my Xbox at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I still was like, yo, like that piece of hardware is impressive. Like what it does is impressive,
Yeah.
right? But but like, I don't know, man. Like
It's
this is the first generation where I'm seeing the hardware from possible platforms that just stink. And that this I really hope that this Xbox handheld, if it is to come out, is not exactly what we're thinking. Because then it's like, why did you even bother putting the label of approval on the Logitech G Cloud or whatever that thing
yeah.
called? Why did you bother to say, oh yeah, let's just do the let's put our sticker of approval on the Asus ROG Ally.
Yep.
Like, why are you putting your sticker of approval on Lenovo's thing? And then you're gonna make your own, and if it's only cloud, why would you make your device just not good in comparison of what you put your sticker on?
Yeah. There's no need for a cloud device for Xbox. At least a cloud handheld. Because they're also talking about just a cloud device in general for like your TV or whatever, which we might get to later. But like that's fine, whatever. I'm not getting it, but like someone will and they'll enjoy it. But like a handheld, Logitech G Cloud's there. You can get. You don't even need Windows on your Steam Deck. You can get Game Pass Cloud on your Steam Deck very, very easily. It's like everything has that access on top of your phone, your tablet, whatever. I've seen people playing cloud on the fucking smart fridges on their watches. It's like, dude,
Yeah,
everywhere
that's what on
has this.
Teslas.
Yeah, exactly. Everywhere has this. You don't need to make a cloud only handheld, which is why I'm hoping. I'm really hoping that's not what they're doing with this. I'm hoping if they're actually going to do a handheld, that it's a native handheld, because that's, first of all, it makes you look good and in comparison to the competition, because look at what Sony just did with theirs. And
Right.
it's like a free slam dunk for Xbox if they do a native handheld. It's a free slam dunk. And I mean maybe it's not easy to do, but god damn, dude, if it's either that or you have a cloud handheld, then just don't do anything. Don't do anything, honestly. But yeah, I'm hoping we hear more about this at some point, and then obviously Phil came out and said that things within this plan, some things are true, some things have changed since then. So it's like you got to take that into account as well. So who knows? But hopefully we will find out sooner rather than later about this Xbox handheld. But there's like a ton of stuff here, dude. So the full timeline, for anyone who doesn't know for some reason, the full timeline is that the full timeline of Xbox has been leaked up until 2030. So everything they plan to do with mid-gen refresh for Xbox, Xbox Series X, a new console for the Xbox in 2028, and then you've got them saying that they plan to be the market leader by 2030. They plan to have 100 million Game Pass subscribers by 2030. So it's like they've got some lofty goals. They've got some very lofty goals, and time will tell if they actually hit those goals. But dude, what about Xbox trying to buy Nintendo? What are your thoughts on that? Or not trying to, but just floating the idea, because there's a distinction there. They're floating the idea of buying Nintendo.
Um, in the sense of me wanting there to be competition, I don't like it. In the
Mm-hmm.
sense of me wanting more accessibility, it sounds great. So it kind of depends on which direction you want to drive the conversation. Uh,
Let's go with like the competition thing, because that's something that everybody's talking about, and I agree with you on both of those points. Actually, we'll be talking about both of them, but let's go with the competition thing first.
so the competition thing is like now everything is what it would seem like is everything but Sony is under one umbrella.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like from the outside looking in,
Mm-hmm.
right? And with Nintendo being Xbox, let's just say it like it is. It's not Nintendo anymore. It's
No.
just Xbox. And I don't know if Xbox in like games like Mario and stuff like that, like sure, it would it'd be cool for the accessibility part and everything like that, but as for like the outright bludgeon of taking over the industry, I don't know if that's healthy for the industry itself. It may be healthy for Xbox.
Oh, that's very healthy for Xbox.
You're right. It might be healthy for Xbox, but as for like there being a sense of what the CMA and the FTC were talking about, well, then it seemed pretty fucking apparent,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
right? So like it's hard to argue anything that the CMA or FTC is saying if Microsoft were to do something like that. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
going way out of your way to make sure nobody else can be as big as you or even compete.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I'm not really loving that. Out like that kind of. I mean, I hate the Yankees for the exact same reason. I don't like the
Yeah,
Lakers for the exact
exact
same
same
reason.
reason. Yeah,
So it's like, don't turn my gaming company into the Lakers or the Yankees. I want there to be some sense of we got ourselves here, not we bought ourselves here.
yeah,
So like what I think they're doing with Playground right now is amazing. What they did with what they did with what uh what Obsidian's doing, amazing. What Turn 10's doing with racing, amazing.
yeah,
The potential of what 343 could do if they stop fucking bullshitting could be amazing.
yeah.
Ninja Theory, yo, amazing.
Hmm.
So I'm just like, yo, you have some stuff where it looks like you're kind of ground up building it.
Yeah,
I don't want you to overshadow that with your money.
yeah. I get
Like,
it. Definitely
but,
get that.
but in my opinion, that's one thing that Xbox is kind of hit and miss with right now. Is sometimes they kind of remind me of a really good rapper, right? That you're like, you seen this rapper, like let me use Lil Wayne for instance, right?
Hmm.
When Lil Wayne first came out, he was on the Hot Boys. He was very popular. He was the young guy within Cash Money that was just like obviously better than 80% of the crew that he
Yeah,
ran,
yep.
right? And when he came to the mic, it was like, yo, and he continued and made like a legacy of himself. But then there became a part where it was like he was rapping and it was like, wait a second. This isn't the exact same kind of feeling that we had before. This feels more just like you're just throwing music at the wall.
Yeah,
And that was that kind of phase or moment where it felt like, all right, you're no longer really. I mean, I'm sure he'd argue it himself, but there, there'd feel like there was passionless music sometime, where it was just
yeah,
a money grab, a money
yeah.
grab, a money grab. So that's what I'm saying. Xbox, when they first came out, it was very much like Lil Wayne and this first out. You seen the console? It took the music and stuff on it. It did this. It did stuff that the PS2 did not do.
Yeah,
It like the games had options that the PS2 just didn't have. It was just like, yo, like this thing is on its own doing its thing. It
100%.
continued that with the 360. It did that with some ways with the one. It was just a little too early for a lot of people to really get into and understand, especially with the
Yes,
DRM thing and everything like that.
100%.
Um, so what it feels like they're kind of doing to get themselves back into the groove is that money music stuff a little bit, where it's like kind of just throwing some stuff on the wall. I threw Bethesda at you, right? I'm gonna throw Psychonauts at you, right? Yeah, sure, we helped them out with it, but that's what you did. You just helped them out with it. You didn't create it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Um, same, and it'd be the same thing with Activision and whatnot. But what I want to see from Xbox for the most part is I want to see what you did with Obsidian and Avowed. I want you to really stand proud with that. I want you to see what you did with Fable, with
hmm,
Forza, with whatever else is supposed to come down the line. The one game, the South game, South
South. Oh,
Midnight.
South of Midnight. Yeah,
I want to see those games because I remember back in the day when you asked people about Xbox and whatnot, they didn't tell you a bunch of titles that came from other developers and stuff and whatnot. They were like, yo, when I think of Xbox, I think of Fable.
Yeah.
When I think of Xbox, I think of Halo. When I think of
Yeah.
Xbox, I think of an Xbox specific thing that came from their grassroots. You're never going to be on top of the mountain using somebody else's gear because you're unfamiliar with it.
Yep.
You'll reach the top of the mountain fighting tooth and nail with shit that you figured out on your own. Very much like what the very I forgot his name on Twitter, but he's like the director of Larian Studios.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his name, but I've seen his
It's
tweets. Yeah.
very something, very Berg or very something. I don't remember.
I'll look for it.
Um, I'm kind of curious.
Director of Larian Studios. I see. I'm gonna butcher that name. It's spelled how we would say Swin, but I'm pretty sure that's Sven Vinky. Vinsky. I don't know, but that's the director of Larian. Designer, programmer, and director.
Very AFK is who I'm talking about. Director of publishing
Oh,
at Larian Studios.
okay,
He says
yeah.
currently on an adventure with you, and an idea is a work of art. So he posted earlier, I believe it was earlier today, because they were talking about somebody was talking about their game.
Blind, what's up?
Um in oh yeah, so Polygon posted Microsoft completely misjudged Baldur's Gate 3. And he replies, in their defense, so did everyone else. Same with DOS 2.
Oh yeah,
It comes with the genre and the way we approach things and the way we execute things. There just isn't any existing data that could have told anyone how BG3 was going to perform. We just had to take giant spooky leaps. That's what I'm trying to see with Fable. That's what I'm trying to see with Avowed. That's what I'm trying to see with South of Midnight. That's what I know I'm getting with the new Forza, and that's what I recently got out of Bethesda with Starfield. I felt like
yes,
they did great, but I need but the thing with Starfield is it felt like Starfield was the emergency the emergency health kit in Starfield. I felt like that's what that was for Xbox, right? It was their med pack. It was their trauma pack. It was
yeah,
whatever you want to call it. It was what got them feeling better.
yep,
But I feel like what would be like the automated rejuvenation that's available in Starfield for Xbox, what would be the automated rejuvenation thing would to be you taking an IP that you know that you've done like a Fable or a brand new IP that you've been working on like an Avowed or something like that, just something in that direction where it's like you guys were here before this generation. I
yeah,
want to know what some of these guys that's been hanging around with Xbox, other than Bethesda, other than the possible Activision, other than Ninja Theory, somebody that's been there around for so long but hasn't produced something. I want to see them produce.
yeah, 100%. Like I want to see Granted, I don't have any doubt, but I want to see Coalition. I'll see what Coalition's up to.
That's a huge one, big time,
Yeah, dude,
big time.
because it's like they just came out of the generation where they essentially carried Xbox. They're basically what Insomniac is this generation for PlayStation, but for Xbox last generation. I mean, Xbox did have Forza as well. You could argue Halo 5. I mean, Halo 5 was a success for them. Just critically, like, speaking in terms of financially, it was a success. But Gears 4, Gears 5, Gears Tactics, like, they kind of carried that generation pretty hard. And I want to see what they're doing. I really want to see. I mean, we spoke of Avowed a little bit, and I'm sure we saw some Avowed. I'm sure we'll see more Avowed, and it's supposed to come out in 2024. But after that, I'm dying to see Outer Worlds 2, especially playing Starfield right now. Obviously, Outer Worlds 2 is not the same scale. I'm not expecting that by any stretch of the imagination, but it's like playing Starfield right now. I've got the itch for sci-fi. I want to see Outer Worlds 2. I want to see Outer Worlds 2. I want to see Hellblade 2. I want to see combat for Hellblade 2. Just show me what that looks like. Like there's a lot of things, I want to see what Tango's doing. Granted, we'll talk a little bit about that later. Shiv, what's up? Appreciate you for stopping by. You and Blind and Tom. Tom was first, second, and third. So appreciate you, Tom. Blind and Shiv. Thank you guys for stopping by. But yeah, man, I get 100% what you're saying. I want to see what these studios are actually doing, what they're actually working on, because like like you said, Starfield is great. I love it, but it's like it it's not it doesn't hit the same. It doesn't hit quite the same. And as for Nintendo, like just the competition side of it, because there is the more personal side of it, which I want to ask you about next. But as for just the competition side of it, I don't see how that's good for anybody, competition wise. I really don't.
Right.
It's like that would be. I mean, imagine, dude. They're going through hell. They went through hell with Activision Blizzard. Imagine after Activision Blizzard, they go back to the CMA. They go back to the EU. They go back to the FTC, and they're like, "Hey guys, we know we just went through that whole thing with ABK. What would you guys think if we were to buy Nintendo?" Dude, the like all of those regulators would be ready to shoot Phil Spencer out of a cannon. They'd be ready to just get him off the planet.
I can't say that I'd blame them,
Oh yeah,
to be honest.
100%.
Not so much regulators that I'd be like feeling that like, hey, I feel you. I would be more like, no, I feel for like Nintendo fan and
Yeah,
Sony in general, just because it's just like, yo, this like I can't I can't take Satya Nadella serious if he says if you want competition, then let's compete. If you're gonna buy a whole platform, that's not competing.
that's because
I
Satya
mean,
was like, "We're just trying to compete." What do you
like,
what?
I completely understand buying a publisher like Activision, especially in the situation that they're in, makes sense to me,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, you need help, they need help, y'all might be able to make it work. That's the way I look at that. But you need help, you look at Nintendo, they don't need any help. They don't need no help.
Right.
I mean, they may need some help in the sense of like cloud. I mean, they might need some helps in a few little areas or whatnot, but they're a hop, skip, and a jump from just absolutely demoralizing everybody.
Yeah.
So like buying that to me
What's up,
is just
Dusty?
like I don't know, man. That's like getting the dream team together and asking them to go play a middle school team. It's just like, what is going on here?
it's
Why do you need that much firepower for that?
it's like the 2016 it's like the 2016 Warriors or the Cavs just playing a high school team.
Right.
Just beat the shit out of a high school team. It's not
And the
fair.
thing is well, the thing that makes it a little bit different, I'd actually say more like a college team
Oh yeah,
because PlayStation would still be fairly good and still sell really
definitely.
well. It still sell really well, even if Xbox owned Nintendo. It'd sell great. It might even sell better, to be honest.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, that's a good way to
The
put it.
problem the problem is that it's no longer a race at all anymore. And I feel like that would maybe demoralize a lot of the strategy and like reason to get up in the morning for PlayStation.
Yeah. I here's what I think. If Nintendo were to ever, I don't think it'll ever happen, but if in some alternate universe it were to happen and Microsoft bought Nintendo, PlayStation would still be doing their thing. They'd still be selling crazy like they always do. But I feel like they would lean, like you've said it before, they're like the Apple of gaming. I feel like they would lean even harder into that. They would just be like, okay, it doesn't really matter what we do now because it's like it's Nintendo and Xbox. It's literally the same thing now. So it doesn't matter what we do. It's not three people fighting it out anymore. It's just two people and one of them is fucking huge. One of them is just obscenely fucking huge. So it's like I could see them leaning more into like, okay, this is sure, go over there and get Nintendo and Xbox, but this is like the premium thing where like they're doing that thing with the company with the headphones, Audis or whatever. It's like I could see them doing a lot more of that
I,
if if that were to happen.
I was gonna say by that point, I think all PlayStation could do is literally just get bought out.
Mm, that's definitely a
Um,
possibility. Yeah.
and specifically, and I'm gonna keep saying this until it happens, or until somebody just, or not somebody, until something else happens. But I just think that Apple is gonna buy PlayStation if something like that ever were to happen.
I I mean, hey, if it all happens, I could definitely that would make sense. If a company were to
It,
buy them, it would be Apple.
exactly, and I say that just simply because what is Apple? Apple is the ride with us or fuck out of here
Hmm.
kind of business. You're either with us or you're against us. There's no in between at all. Ah, shit. But I'm sorry, I just went to a planet with contraband.
uh,
I forgot I had contraband on me. They said I have zero chance to evade. Oh
Zero
shit!
chance. You get that shielded cargo, bud.
I got the shielded cargo. I'm just
Oh, you're just it's just on you.
it's yes. I forgot to put it away.
Damn.
I'm down horrendous. Right.
That's not
But
good.
but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it, bro. That's all I got.
Okay, so then the question is to shift from competition wise, which I think we all agree, everyone agrees that's a terrible move for competition. Personal, just personally, for you, how do you, what would you think? I mean, what do you think about the idea of Microsoft floating the idea of buying Nintendo personally?
So you're more or less asking what would be the good.
What would, well, yeah, I guess for you, the good or bad for you.
So I'm not gonna lie. I only think it's bad in the sense of competition for other people, and also think it's not great exactly um for the whole industry when it comes to um, innovation, especially like from other startup companies or something like that. I think it'd be horrible for that. Like if
Yeah.
somebody was looking, or if like Atari was looking to come back, or Sega was looking to make a new console or something like that, it'd be like impossible at that point.
Hmm.
Um, but that's about it when it comes to the negative part for it for me. Other than that, it would be absolutely phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie. So like if I take away all that negative shit that we just said just a little bit ago, here are the stellar, dope, amazing parts of it. Really, the things that I mean, other than what I said that was not so cool, here are the things that I would actually see coming out of this. Now
Okay.
I'm able to play Mario anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not just stuck to the Switch. I think backwards compatibility, or not just backwards compatibility, but just the ability to play older games would definitely be more easier to access.
Yeah.
I mean, being able to play something like Tears of the Kingdom from my phone would be nuts. Seeing the innovation between Xbox and Nintendo when it comes to handhelds, or um just any of that type of stuff would be really cool. Seeing Nintendo be on PC would be insane.
Yeah. That would be nuts.
Having the Xbox app that has like, I don't know, like I'm playing if I were to to get all those like Pokemon games and Mario, Zelda, Pikmin, all that stuff, to get that, since Xbox does this whenever they own whatever, most of their games, if not all of them, go into Game Pass.
Yeah.
To be able to see to see Nintendo's first party library go into Game Pass, can't lie, that'd be amazing.
I would be.
Um, Here are some things to take into mind, though. It's going to be more expensive.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely going to be more expensive, to the point where I'd have to consider if it's a good idea or not.
Oh, you're talking specifically Game Pass. Yeah.
I'm talking about Game Pass. I'm
Yeah.
talking about any kind of like subscription at all. Um, I'm also would be concerned with the willing the willingness to push hard on actual new devices, and
Okay.
not just kind of rely too much on the people just to buy a PC.
Yeah. Cause.
I mean, that's actually a current thing that I'm still kind of little worried about. Um,
Oh
I
yeah.
know I know that we'll get into it about the whole 2028 thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, but uh but I'm just a little concerned with that, but for the most part, I think as a consumer, this would be a huge win,
Yeah.
as long as that game price, that the Game Pass price is right.
Definitely. So the Game Pass price is right. What's the price you put on Game Pass per month, assuming they have like the entire Nintendo first party catalog? What's the price you put on Game Pass in a month?
All right, so if they actually had day and date Nintendo games, and like first party games in Game Pass, I would expect the price that we currently have to be changed to like $22
Okay.
and to get but see, I think they would then stifle a little bit on this, or better yet, I think they'd compartmentalize it. So the price that we have on our current Game Pass, like Ultimate or whatnot, I think would then go to $20, and then you'd get some Nintendo games in there. And then I think the day and date, brand new, everything would be at another. I feel like they'd almost make another tier or an add-on tier, or like a piece of a tier, to where it's just like it's almost like if you want this as well, it'd be like EA Play almost, where they just kind of sneak it in there as like maybe a $5-10 a month extra charge, or maybe just keep it separate in general.
Okay.
I don't know. There's dude. I don't even know if Microsoft could hurry up and spit out a plan for something like that. That that would take some serious deliberating and a lot
Yeah.
of thinking, because that is a huge catalog. It's a huge catalog, and the sense of quality is all over the place. So there's really good, there's some really bad.
Yep.
And it's
I
just like, how are you going to implement that? How are you then going to take some of these games that are based only on like streaming and turn them into native ports? So like some of like the 64 games, some of the GameCube games, SNES, yada yada, whatever. How are you going to turn all of these things into native port? Man, there'd be so much work to do in the background.
yeah.
But
I I
let's say
think
they get everything native. Let's say they get everything native. I'm thinking $30 a month for everything.
okay. I was
Maybe
gonna
35.
say, yeah, I was thinking 30. Um, I also think you brought up a good point that I was kind of thinking was I would imagine they would consider separating those because it's like you look at what an Xbox fan typically like the typical Xbox fan plays versus the typical Nintendo fan. Nintendo fans love Nintendo games. Like not many fans out like there are Nintendo games like Metroid. I love Metroid. But like Zelda I don't really have any nostalgia for it. You know, Mario I'm kind of the same. I don't really have any nostalgia for it. Pokemon I do not have nostalgia for. Uh, like all this stuff I don't like the JRPGs. I just it's not for me. So it's like I look at that and I'm like, you almost have to make that its own thing. Because if that were to make its way over here and then it's like now the price is $30 a month, I'm looking at it like, well, I'm getting nothing from that $30 really, outside of whenever the hell they release Metroid Prime 4 in like 2050, whenever that happens, and I'm on my deathbed, then yeah, I guess I get something from that. But like just just the general catalog from Nintendo, I'm not really getting much from. Me personally, I know a lot of people might disagree, but that's just for me. But yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I'd say about $30 a month. Shiv in the chat. Let's see. What'd you say, bud? Nintendo always sets the tone each generation. That's what I'm saying. Like this whole this whole thing is kind of pointless because it's like, dude, Nintendo's not getting bought. This I remember this came out. Didn't this come out during the whole ABK thing? Like when that first popped off, where it was like, Phil Spencer approached. I forget the guy's name at Nintendo, but he approached him for an acquisition, and then they laughed him out of the room. They're like, dude, no. They're like, dude, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
this isn't the first time we've heard about Microsoft buying Nintendo. So like this isn't even like really new news. It's just more
Yeah.
relevant because it happened in.
Yes. Yes. Now that is again that's one small part of this league. That's one very small part of this league because there's a lot here. Like, let's bring up this next part actually, which is the new Xbox or the mid-gen, we'll call it a
Refresh.
refresh of the Xbox Series X. I saw you guys talking about this on the show yesterday. For me, because I definitely want to hear what you have to say. But for me, I look at this and I'm all set. Because the whole point of this console for me, the whole upgrade is 2 terabytes. I've got 2 terabytes. I've got one in my Xbox already, and then a storage expansion drive in there as well. So it's like I'm all good. In fact, I got if I wanted, I have 3 terabytes because I have another one that's in my Series S. So it's like I'm all set there, and an all digital console. I think that's fine for something like the Series S. I think it's smart to have one for your like pro model. I think it's smart. I kind of think it would be smarter if they did that from the beginning instead of the Series S. But it's cool that they're doing it now for people who really genuinely don't give a shit about physical games. But for me, I like to pick up a physical game every now and then. I'm gonna stick to the physical console. But Ham, what are your thoughts on this new Series X mid-gen refresh, an all digital Series X that looks like a humidifier, by the way. One of the
Right.
one of the I think they called it a sleek design. No, no, it's not. It's not. It's not a sleek design. Not to me, it's not. But yeah, let me know about your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I don't know why these consoles are being made the way that they're being made, but they look like, but like, I mean, the PS5, the Xbox Series X to me, and the Series S, they both look fine.
Yeah.
The PS5, I don't really understand what's going on with that thing,
Oh yeah.
looks wise. And then as for the fucking new Xbox that they're talking about, thing looks like a goddamn face. It does. It looks like a the bottom half of the lamp that hasn't been installed with the part that screws on the light bulb. Like
yeah.
it it just isn't the best looking thing. I think it would look awkward on my desk. Like I'm thinking about that being there instead of my Series X. And
Yeah.
I'm just like expecting to turn it on and smell incense or like oils or something
You
like
put that on, like my Series X is on its side. I put that on its side, it just rolls away. It just
I know.
it just rolls away, dude.
Oh man.
Shiv in the chat says the PS5 looks great. You guys are nuts. Listen, and that's the thing because
No, it doesn't.
I've heard people say the PS5 looks great, and if you think it looks great, that's fantastic. But dude, I think that thing looks insane. It looks nuts. It looks like what you they got a child from the 80s to design what a game console would look like in the future. Is that was what that looks like to me.
I feel like it looks like a overfilled, partially unzipped trapper keeper. Like that's what I feel like the PS5 looks like. It looks like a damn trapper keeper that like is like busting open.
Yeah.
It really needs you to read that book. But
I could definitely agree with you, Shiv. It does look like a piece of alien technology. I can agree with you on that.
yeah, I agree with that as well. It definitely looks like something weird.
Doesn't look like a human design that. It does not look like a human design that. But I mean, and that's the thing. It's so split because I see people like I've seen people genuinely say the PS5 is like the best looking console of all time. I've seen like many people say this, but for me, I'm just on the opposite end of the thing where it's like, dude, that thing is just not. hitting for me, honestly. And especially like when I had the all digital one, I thought it looked better than the one with the disc, because the one with the disc has like a big ass like thing bulging out of the side of it. It looks like it was designed to be all digital, and then at the end they're like, "Oh shit, we can't do that. We need to slap a disc on this thing, a disc drive on this thing." That's what it looks like to me, and that's just I don't know, but it is what it is. PS5 is great, Xbox is great. They're both great. Enjoy them, but yeah, I mean this whole next gen, not next gen, this whole mid gen refresh for the Xbox. I also saw here this next Series S, codenamed Elwood, coming August/September 2025. I'm wondering if that's the Series S we just got and it was pushed forward, because I can't imagine they have a mid-gen refresh for the Series S again after just releasing this 1 terabyte one. What do you think
Right.
about that? Like, do you think there's another Series S, or do you think that's the one we just got?
Yeah, I think that's the one that we just got. I don't think they're going to do that twice. It just doesn't make any sense. The only thing that Series S needed was more memory, and you can't compromise the architecture on it,
Mm-hmm.
or else it's not a Series S anymore.
Yeah. This Mike says this Series S will clean my room. Then yeah, dude, it might clean your room. It's not gonna make you smell good though, bud, because you fucking stink. Unfortunately.
Wow.
Oh my god. But yeah, I don't think the Series S thing is gonna happen. I think we just got the 1 terabyte. I think that's what it is, and that's what we got. But might as well stick on hardware, because the next Xbox, the next gen Xbox in 2028, is definitely been a talking point online. The last 24, 36 hours, it's been a talking point, and people are freaking out because of the word cloud being thrown around quite a lot in that little graphic that they showed. Now I'm going to bring it up here on my end if I can get to that website again, because I just had it. But what are your thoughts on a next gen Xbox 2028? Plans to be kind of like a hybrid cloud native console kind of thing.
It sounds pointless if you're talking about just cloud.
Okay, because
It-
my
like,
what's up?
how is it going to be a console and cloud at the same time? It doesn't make any sense.
My under Again, I could be entirely wrong. I could be entirely wrong on this, but I think that it could be kind of like what they did. I mean, I guess it's different because we're talking about software here, but how they leverage the cloud for Crackdown 3, or how you hear what Kojima's working on. It's cloud based. Everybody hears cloud based and they're like, "Oh, I can only play this on the cloud." I don't think that's the case. I think they're using cloud computing to make your console more powerful, as opposed to having only the native thing that is in your console. So I feel like what you'll have is the native console that is better than what we have now, and then on top of that, when you're connected to the internet, you will also have cloud computing,
Okay.
which is what I'm imagining. I could be entirely wrong here, but that's what I'm imagining. And in that case, I'm like, fine, but it's just one of those things. You throw the word cloud around and it gives people the wrong idea, or maybe the right idea, and it's like
You don't say the wrong idea, bud.
say the wrong. I mean, yeah.
Come on,
Hopefully,
we're talking about we're talking about general public. It's the wrong idea.
oh well, I'm saying maybe the right idea, as in maybe we're right. Maybe everyone's got the right idea. It's not a good idea.
Oh,
I'm saying that, but like,
I sure hope that we all have the wrong idea then, in that sense.
yeah, I think we do, but time will tell. But if my scenario is the scenario that is that what is what comes to be. Is that something you're interested in? A native console that uses also cloud computing.
Uh, I mean, that's kind of what I got right now.
Mm, okay.
I mean, in all right, no, I mean, in the sense, I guess that you're talking about, I I honestly think it. As long as it's not like, as long as it takes physical as well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with it. Like, I
Sure.
want to see something new, something that pushes it forward, but I also want to see something that they're ready to use now, not something that they're gonna take 5 years to use.
Yeah. Mike
You see
also
what I'm
bring.
saying? Like,
Yeah, Mike also brings up Flight Simulator. Does that as well? Which, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Continue.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, with the computing and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I really just want whatever Xbox is gonna do in the sense of bringing new tools to a new console. I want to see them using that and using everything within the confines of their console from the get go. I don't want it to be, oh, we're 3 years into the generation and we're still not using this, that, and a third.
Yeah.
Only seeing a like I feel like the Series X has done it, and obviously Series S as well. But it really like was like ridiculously obvious with the One X that it just never really got used to its like fullest capabilities, at least from first party.
Yeah.
So that's all I really want to see with whatever they decide to create. If it's going to be bigger, better, and you're going to have all these weird things on the box, 8K or whatever, I want to see that kind of shit from the get go. Don't wait 5 years into the generation and say, "Oh, we finally got velocity architecture going and with going on everything," and buzzword after buzzword after buzzword. Like, come on,
Mm,
just give me what you said you got. I
okay.
mean, when I purchase a car, I don't plan to use the features 5 years after I buy it.
True. It's a good point.
I'm expecting, oh, it's hot, sunroof.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? AC blasts, subwoofers, whatever, heat, heat chiller or warmers. I'm using that all day one or whenever it is necessary. I am
Yeah.
not going to wait for an update. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that.
Yeah. Shiv says you have to add those capabilities into a device before it can be fully utilized. Better they add those capabilities in, even if we don't see them fully utilized at launch, like Ham is saying. See, I kind of agree with Shiv on this. And I'll use the Series X. You could even say the PS5 as well, as an example where it's like RDNA 2 is in the Series X and Series S. RDNA 2, some form of RDNA 2 was in the PS5. So it's like what when they do that, it's going to be years until we see, like they announced just recently, AMD's frame generation, where it's like I saw you and Loke talking yesterday about going back and forth about the 4K 120 thing. I wish I was on that show to talk to Loke about, because Loke was just, he was devastated.
Look
He
was out of
was
his mind. He didn't know what was going on.
he was fucking devastated yesterday. But
He's like, and here's the thing. I understand if you can't like completely utilize like 100% of it, but I just feel like there has to be some sort of showcase piece as to why this is here, what it's doing, what I paid for.
yeah, that's fair.
So here's a phenomenal example right here. Um, God, what's that? What's that game?
Xbox
Astro's
game?
Playroom.
Oh, okay.
Astro's Playroom.
Yeah, okay.
Astro's Playroom set the tone for the PS5.
Yeah.
It did. Came pre-installed, showed you what the controller can do, how fast the console can be. I mean, the motherfucker even had you blow into it. Bruh,
Yeah.
love it or hate it, it showed off most, if not everything that it can do.
Yes.
That's
I
the nice thing about going back and talking about the PS5. It's like I can go over somebody's house and say this is the PS5
yeah.
and not have to say anything else.
See, that makes more sense to me because I feel like that's something maybe they should focus on. And Shit brings up a great point about Astro's Playroom was awesome, but like nothing since then has matched it. Like there's been
That,
nothing. There's
that's
been
true.
nothing. Yeah,
But
there's
at
been
least
nothing
you
that takes
know.
advantage. Yes,
But at
true.
least you know that it's possible.
That's true, and I would agree that like for this next Xbox, for this generation of Xbox, there should have been something there at launch that's like, okay, now I get why. Like I'm like say I'm on an Xbox One and I see somebody playing this whatever insert game here. I'm like, okay, I get why I would want to upgrade right now. Makes sense. And there just wasn't that. That wasn't the case for Xbox this generation. They didn't have that thing at launch. That's something they need to have at launch for the next Xbox. That's something they need to have for the launch of the PS6. It's something
I
that
mean, I ain't
shows
gonna
you
lie.
what it does.
I I love my Xbox more than I love my PS5. That's real. But when I first purchased both systems, I was more excited for my PS5.
Sure.
I ended up on the Xbox more because that's just where all my games are. That's the controller I enjoy more. That's where all my friends are. So it was easy.
Hmm.
But the first time I turned on the PS5, seen an all new dashboard with an all new controller. By the way, we should definitely talk about that
We are.
controller that's still speaking
We
to be
are.
coming. Yeah, all right, fair, fair, fair.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, all new controller, all new UI, you know, game already loaded on it, ready to go. Like it was out the box just strong. Sure, it came in egg carton shell.
Yeah.
But and sure that bitch was heavy and looked like I said, an unzipped trapper keeper. It looked weird,
Hmm.
but man, I was in awe. When those
Yeah.
lights turned on the PS5, I was like, yo, seeing the whole thing come up on my screen, turned on Astro's Playroom, man, I was set. And then I bought Spider-Man Miles Morales with the remaster bundle.
Yeah.
Bro, I played when I first bought both systems, I probably played the PlayStation more.
Yeah.
But then once I started seeing friends having the Series X, once I seen, some of the stuff that started to come to Game Pass, especially once like Hellblade got updated,
Yeah.
bro, like the value started to, peak started to bust through the cracks of that PS5. The value on Xbox did.
Yeah.
And what later ended up coming is the quality. Is the other way around for the PlayStation 5. The quality was there. I'm still waiting for the value.
Yeah. And I was the same way. When I got my PS5. I don't think I turned my Series X on for like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. I don't think I turned it on because I was playing
Like they
PS. Like,
had me trapped. They had
yeah,
me. But
yeah,
like I said, the value just wasn't there, and it's still not there. Like I still like my PS5 a lot, but I
hmm,
still don't see why I would pay for something over there versus over here. there isn't the same type of rewards program. There isn't the same type of catalog of games. Um, it's just like I have to like really want to turn on my PS5. I turn on my Series X without thinking.
Yeah, 100%. I turned my Series S when like we're sat here. I turned on my Series S when we started the show. I'm like, I'm not gonna play this right now. I just turned. It's just like I sat down and I turned it on. Before I get into bed, I turn on my Series X. Whether I'm gonna play it or not, I just do it. It's what happens. So I definitely get that, but like, I mean, I guess the point of, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a value point for the PS5 right now, and it's a little bit difficult. It's like,
The
what's the
value to me of a PS5 is great for those that haven't been playing PlayStation.
sure?
So I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's a lot of value for a new customer
Mm-hmm.
or a customer that doesn't really play a whole lot of games.
Yeah.
But like as for somebody like me that I played a ton of third party games, and now that I bought my PS5, I played the first party games that I care about on there. I'm not really seeing the value anymore as a gamer that's constantly gaming.
Yeah.
Um, in I mostly mean subscription service wise, just or so like subscription service wise, as well as just things to be excited for down the line as well. I look
Mm-hmm.
down the line as somebody that, is always looking out for video games coming out and stuff like that. And I'm just like, we got Spider-Man.
Yeah. Speak, Speaking of Spider-Man, Ham, guess what I did?
I you got the plates?
No, I didn't get the plates.
You got the controller?
No, I didn't get the controller.
You pre-ordered Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Oh my god. But yeah,
I told you. I told you couldn't. You weren't gonna pass it up, bud.
well, it was like cuz I was waiting for cuz we're like saving money for the move, and it's like all the money, all this extra money that we have, it's like instead of going to games, it's going into that. So it's like I was like, can I do it? And then last second, like yesterday, I'm like, screw it, whatever. I'm just gonna go ahead and get it done, and it's paid for. They took it out of my account. Fuck it. But yeah, I got it. I got it. I'm excited to check it out. But yeah, I'm kind of the same way. It's like I see Spider-Man 2. I'm like, that looks amazing, and it's like, but what about Sony Santa Monica? What about Naughty Dog? Naughty Dog's Last of Us Factions. Are we ever gonna get Last of Us Factions? Is that ever gonna happen, or are we just gonna move to the next Naughty Dog thing? Because like at this point, yeah, I would like Last of Us Factions, but even if you're just gonna skip it and move to the next thing, just let us know. Like, let us have some sort of roadmap so it's like I know what to be excited for. Because imagine being someone who's excited for factions and then like I don't know, this time next year they're like it's not happening. It's done. It's like I wasted a whole year being excited for something that just isn't gonna happen now. So it's like PlayStation. I feel like they need to be a little bit more transparent. All companies need to be a little bit more transparent, but especially PlayStation with like what the future of PlayStation is. Especially when Xbox is doing what they're doing right now, where it's like you just got Starfield. Redfall was like, Redfall was what it was. Hi-Fi Rush, Forza Motorsport. We know about Avowed. We know about Hellblade next year. We know about Towerborn next year. There's a bunch of games that we know about, and meanwhile, I've got my $500 PlayStation back there. It's just like, can't wait for Spider-Man, but what happens after that? what do we do after that? Because it's weird. And I guess something else to look at when you're comparing the two is like, if I was locked into PlayStation's ecosystem the way I'm locked into Xbox's, I'd probably feel the exact opposite way that I do now. Because I have all my games built up there, I have my friends there, I have all that stuff there. But like, as someone who's not locked into the PlayStation ecosystem, I from the outside looking in, I just look at it. I'm like, every now and then I'll turn that on. Like once in a while, I'll turn that on. Whereas my Xbox, like that's like a way to communicate with friends for me. That's just not the case for my PlayStation, unfortunately. But yeah, there's plenty more to talk about. And you brought up the controller, which is a big thing. I'm actually kind of excited for that. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a new controller, the Xbox Premium controller, $70. Could arrive in 2024, and it does feature haptic feedback. It features VCA. Okay, VCA haptics, double as speakers. So they're gonna have speakers in this controller, which I'm not thrilled about. I don't love that feature on the PlayStation controllers. I didn't love it on PS4. I don't love it on PS5, but it is what it is. That will be there. Um, this is one I thought of Loke immediately when I read this. Quieter buttons and thumbsticks. Because Loke is always talking about the Xbox controller being like the loudest thing ever. Which just is like, I guess it's kind of clicky, but it doesn't really bother me. But I imagine Loke. Did you guys talk about the controller last night? Or not last night, but yesterday on your show?
No, not really.
Okay, so I'd be interested to. I'm gonna bring this up on Friday, and I want to hear what Loke's take is on quieter buttons and thumbsticks. He'll probably be overjoyed. But what do you think about this new Xbox Premium controller? Because they'll have the core, which is about $50 for a controller, the premium, which is about 70. They also have a new Elite apparently coming out as well, which I'm not entirely sure if we have the details on that, but that also got leaked. There's going to be a new Elite, and that's going to be like, your $100 plus controller. So what do you think about this new premium controller?
I like the idea, and you were saying you didn't like the sound. I'm telling you, it don't bother me. It doesn't, especially if you
Doesn't
can just
bother
turn
me.
it off. Um, if you can turn off the sound, cool. If you can't, I don't think I'd care
Oh
really
yeah,
either way.
yeah.
But I want to see a feature pack controller because I was saying it earlier in the generation. I mean, the Elite controller is phenomenal. This thing is great.
Yes, love it.
Um, the I'm not really sure how to feel about it because you just announced that there's going to be a new Elite controller too.
Yeah, so
So
this one's like the one in between where it's like the Elite's gonna have the paddles, it's gonna have trigger stops and all that stuff. This is just basically a core controller with haptic feedback. There's one more thing I want to say that it has as well. Instead of like having to hit the button on it to turn it on, you lift it and it wakes up. You grab it and it turns on.
I don't like that.
I thought that was weird because I'm like, how do you? Because what if I'm just grabbing my controller and I just want to put it over there or something?
That's
Do I
what I'm
just?
saying. I have a 5-year-old.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with
Yeah,
that.
I don't like the idea of just picking up a controller and it turns on the console.
Just burning through your controller's
So,
batteries sitting there.
and like I said, I'm sure that's another thing that you can just turn off if
Yeah,
that's a thing on there. But yeah, I'm just excited to see a better, more bolstered up controller. Hopefully, it has some good sticks, and I mean, really, that's about it. Like, I just
speak.
want to see a I just want to see an improved version of the controller. I felt like the controller that we got at the beginning of this generation only had a share button, and that was
That was it.
it. That was it. Like
Yeah,
I didn't really love that at all.
yeah.
I thought that and turning on my Xbox for the first time was very anticlimactic.
I get that. I can definitely understand that. Yeah.
So I wasn't really jazzed about that. So, and it kind of has me a little jealous that they're doing this as like a mid-gen refresh because it's like that communicates now that they were behind on their thinking,
Hmm.
that they didn't know how much we wanted something new, and they waited until the middle of the generation to give it to us. So that has me a little perturbed a little bit. But all
Yeah.
in all, if they're thinking of making improvements and they got a great idea to come out with, I'm happy to check it out and see what it's all about.
So you mentioned the sticks, and I just saw this. I didn't know this until I saw it just now. It's new modular thumbsticks. So like how my Thrustmaster,
Right.
I can just take the thumbstick out and replace it if I want to. You can do that with this controller. So like stick drift. Granted, the easier thing would be to just go Hall effect sensors, so you never get stick drift in the first place. But at least they have
But
that
that would
now.
kill cells, so they're not going to do that.
Exactly. Exactly. Smart thinking. But yeah, I mean, at least they're doing that now. It's like at least cuz dude, I have this Design Labs controller that I love, but I'm like afraid to use it because I don't want it to get stick drift. I don't want it to. It's the same with the Forza controller, the Forza Horizon 5 controller. I
I
don't want
got
that
stick
thing.
drift on my Forza controller.
Dude, that's exactly what I don't want. That is exactly what I don't want. So it's like
Yeah.
if we can get some modular thumbsticks, then it's like I don't know, 15, $20. I get stick drift once every what 2.5 years. Figure. So it's like it's $20 every two. Fine, if that's really what it takes. I'm happy about that honestly because that's one of the things I think needs to be more common. You either need modular thumbsticks or you need Hall effect sensors. One of the two. Because the whole standard thumbsticks that you can't swap out is just it's not cutting it. Not anymore. I don't feel like. But that's just me. But I'm excited for this. I will definitely be picking. I'll put it this way: I'm not getting that new Series X console, but I'll definitely get this controller. I will definitely get this controller, especially if we can
Yeah.
get it. Especially if we can get it in different colors. Design labs for this controller. If we can do that, I'm down. It also looks like it has some grips on it, which is nice because that's another thing about the base Xbox controllers. There's no real grip on it, other than that like weird texture that's on the back, which isn't really a grip. But yeah, I'm
I
excited to see more
remember
about this.
I
What's that?
remember Loke was interested in like the new Xbox is going to have like a newer Bluetooth on
Mm,
it.
yeah. So let me read that.
And yeah, go ahead.
No, it's just Bluetooth 5.2 Xbox Wireless 2, which that's something I knew about Xbox Wireless, but I believe Xbox Wireless 2 is also new to this, which is weird. Direct to cloud, so it has something to do with cloud as well. Interesting. That's an interesting three things right there that I didn't even think about. But yeah, Bluetooth 5.2 is I guess the new standard for the Xbox controllers, or at least this Xbox controller.
Okay. I know Loke was curious about like headsets and if they're gonna like enable the ability to use more different types of headsets on the Xbox, which I doubt.
Oh, like just a pair of headphones you sync up through Bluetooth?
Yeah.
I don't know, because Xbox seems to really like their Xbox wireless thing, and
Right.
I don't see them doing that. That would be great though. That would be great because I have like it'd be cool to just use my earbuds sometimes on my Xbox. That would be pretty
Yeah.
nice. So, I mean, hopefully, but I'm not expecting that. But god damn, it would be cool if they did that. Um, Up next though is well, shit. I mean, this is a whole thing here. So we're just gonna talk about the game leaks because there was a good amount of game leaks from this Oblivion remaster, Fallout 3 remaster. You got the next Doom game, Doom Year Zero. You've got a sequel to Ghostwire Tokyo, Red Dead 2 next gen update or next gen remaster, what do you want to call it? That got leaked as well in this whole document on these whole documents. Also, this one is I thought was hilarious. Elder Scrolls 6 was originally planned for 2024. And if you look at this document, let's see if I can actually bring this up on stream here. But if you look at this document, it shows Starfield coming out in 2021,
Right.
Elder Scrolls 6 in 2024, which is obviously not how things panned out. And probably for the best, because if Starfield came out in 2021, we'd be playing probably an entirely different game at the moment. But you look at that, and it's like it's wild to think how much I guess COVID completely derailed this, because these documents are from like right when COVID would have been popping off. So it's wild to think how much COVID completely fucking derailed this. Like, you've got Starfield 2021, Indiana Jones game in 2022. You've got Doom Year Zero, probably would have already been out by now, and its first DLC. And then next year we'd be looking at Elder Scrolls 6, which is just nuts. But yeah, any of these games entice you? The remasters, Doom, you've got Elder Scrolls 6 is a whole different thing way down the line. But Ghostwire Tokyo sequel, does any of this entice you?
Um, I'm definitely more interested in Bethesda now after Starfield, so I'm really looking
Mm-hmm.
forward to Elder Scrolls 6
Oh
for
yeah.
sure now. More than I was before, for sure. Um, let's see, what were some of the other games?
So you've got Indiana Jones, of course, we all know
Big
about
time.
that. Uh,
Well, I might as well stop you right there,
yeah.
and I'll let you continue here in a second. So I'm really interested in seeing that game in particularly, just to see
Mm-hmm.
if it's going to be first or third person,
Dude,
because
yeah.
they've never done a I mean, they've never done a third person game before,
Yeah.
so that would be insane to see. Also, I just want to see like how they portray Indiana Jones, and I mean, the movie did terrible.
Yeah, it seemed like it flopped. Seemed like it flopped.
It did really, really, really bad. So I'm wondering if this game could be really helpful to the Indiana Jones IP, or if it
Mm-hmm.
could damage it any further. Also, I'm wondering how open versus linear this game is going to be,
Yeah.
because Wolfenstein is pretty linear. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering how they're planning on doing this. I find it interesting as well that Todd Howard already said that like they're making really good progress on it. So I don't know what the hell that even means. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm really interested to see because Todd Howard is also directing this, which is like that's not the case. Like that's not normal. Where Todd Howard's like, "Oh, I'll direct a machine games video game." That's not he. That's a special. That must be a very special thing to Todd Howard to be directing that, because that's usually what would not be happening. But you got the Indiana Jones game. I'm excited to see more about that. I want to see like I think a first person Indiana Jones would be really cool, but I would like to see what Machine Games can do with a third person game. Or maybe it's a hybrid. I saw somebody float that idea when this was first announced. Maybe it's like a hybrid of like it's in third person and then it goes into first person for certain things. That would be cool. I saw somebody also float that for Perfect Dark reboot a while ago. But then you, on top of Indiana Jones, you've got the Oblivion remaster, you've got the Fallout 3 remaster, Doom Year Zero, and you've got a Ghostwire Tokyo sequel. So do
Oh man, so I'm not really sure how I feel about the Ghostwire Tokyo one because I haven't finished the first.
same.
Fallout 3. Ah, it
No.
hurts to say this, but I'm not that interested in.
Oh man. Okay. Hey,
I
that's fair.
and here's the thing is I want to be interested in it. I've been wanting to be interested in Fallout for a long time, but each time I jump in, I feel like I'm just kind of just walking around and I get bored and I just stop. Um, the game provides cool things to do in it and whatnot. I just feel so, I don't know. I mean, it's exactly what the game is supposed to invoke in you, but like, just feel so lonely and
Yeah.
just kind of just desolate. And that's exactly what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's called Fallout.
Hmm.
But like, I don't know. It makes me really hesitant to do a lot of uh looking around, finding stuff. Like in Starfield, I feel like it's cool and different because I feel like I'm actually going to different places and doing all these different things. And Fallout, I feel like I'm in the same kind of area everywhere.
That's fair. That's definitely a fair judgment. I dude, I'm excited because fall, and I'm interested to see if it's a remake or a remaster.
I'm
Uh,
gonna have to get down on it when it comes out because I know you'll be getting down on it, and I
yeah.
think your energy might help energize me to push through it.
Dude, yeah, I 100% see your criticism of it because especially after playing Starfield, it's like I like you boot up something like Fallout and it is the same map. You're on the same map. It's not like and that's going to be the same it's going to be interesting for Elder Scrolls 6 as well because it'll be the same thing there. It'll be a big map, but it's going to be the map. That's what you get. Whereas like Starfield, it's like the map's really whatever I feel like making it be at that moment. I can go to an entirely different planet if I want to. I can explore the one I'm on for 2 3 hours if I want. It's really up to me. Mike in the chat says he's more interested in the Oblivion remaster. Dude, I'm
Me too.
I'm hyped.
Me too, big time. Because hey, I was about to get into Oblivion before Starfield came out, and good old survivors decided to drop some really cool dope for me to get high off of. So yeah, I got really, really, really baked off of Vampire Survivors with my wife. It was great. We're only about 5 more achievements from 100%ing that.
Yeah.
But I still have Oblivion downloaded on my PC because I was that close to getting into it. Like I was ready to go, and then Vampire Survivors happened, and then Starfield came out. And now I'm just like Oblivion. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
delete.
It's
But with this remaster coming out, I'm just like, yo, this is exactly what I needed to get back into it. Very much the same as Persona 3 Reloaded. It was Persona 3 portable on the Series X. You can play it right now, but it's the PSP version. A lot of pointing and clicking going on. If they could innovate that, which they are doing, I am playing that now, day one when it comes out. I'm super excited to play that.
yeah.
But Oblivion, same thing, where it's just like I really want to play it, but the thing that always kind of steered me away, other than other games, were just like the datedness of it. I wasn't sure, like, because this is even more dated than Skyrim.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
like I was just like each time I went to go play it, I was like, oh, I'm excited, and then I'd go look at it, and I'm just like, ugh. I'd see that like 360 border around it, and I'd be like,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I want to do that.
It's definitely more data than Skyrim, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier to play than Morrowind. You don't ever need to play Morrowind because that's just a bad time.
You
And
really don't like more.
dude, it's one of the like, it's what I guess it's just one of those things you had to be there when it released to play it because playing it now in 2023, it's like just just torturing yourself. I'd rather get stomped in my nuts
Wow,
than play that game. It is not.
that's
It is.
aggressive.
It is not a good time. Mike in the chat says, "I think it's possible that new Elder Scrolls might have the Starfield approach to procedurally generated planets to explore, or places to explore. The old Elder Scrolls game did something similar, somewhat similar to what Starfield did. Like you could go to different territories where the dungeons were random, etc. Yeah, like the new Elder Scrolls, I would imagine is different. Like like all the places of Tamriel, as opposed to just this place takes place in Morrowind. This one takes place in Skyrim. This one takes place in I forget where Oblivion took place, and I honestly forget. But like have all of those places together and make it one big ass map. I think that would be pretty badass for Elder Scrolls 6. But we will
Mm.
see. Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster. I mean, that's really interesting to me, especially the way it was described by that. I forget the guy's name, but there was like a dev who came out and basically leaked that. And it was basically a remaster, but ported ported in from Unreal Engine, which is it makes me a little trepidatious, but also interested to see how they handle that because when I think of Bethesda, I do not think of Unreal Engine. I imagine that engine would cause some problems, but we'll find out if that ends up being the case. But Fallout 3 and Oblivion, I think both of them could benefit just entirely from remakes. You could do a remaster. I'll get a remaster. I'll play it. It doesn't matter. But if you could do a remake of those, like Fallout 3 with the shooting mechanics of Fallout 4 or Starfield, wow.
Man,
Then we're good.
if they put in the shooting mechanics from Starfield, then
Yeah,
I'm there. I'm
then
there
that's
without
nuts.
argument.
That I'd be lost in that game. I'd be addicted if they could do that. But we'll see, and hopefully it doesn't take too long because these like this whole document says fiscal year 2024. It's like, but it also says fiscal year 2024 for Elder Scrolls 6. So we will see about that. Uh, but there were just a few other things here, I believe, in this gigantic leak for Xbox, which is oh yeah, this is one I wanted to bring up, and I kind of brought it up a little bit earlier, but we didn't really talk about it, which was sh- Xbox saying they're shooting for 100 million Game Pass subscribers by 2030. They also plan to be the industry leader by 2030. So what are your thoughts on some lofty goals for Xbox for 2030?
Oh, man, I mean, to be honest, I don't think that's too crazy.
Both of them, like the 100 million and the industry leader.
The 100 million, I think, is crazier.
Oh, you think that's crazy? Okay, interesting.
I think that's crazier, actually. But the industry leader, I don't see as crazy because the way that they're spreading their platform out.
Yeah.
I just don't see that as being too crazy because the more these handhelds come out, we got the ROG Ally, we got the Steam Deck, Lenovo is going to be bringing out one. Xbox leaked that they might be having their own handheld.
Yeah.
They're already available all over on phones. They're thinking about making a phone. Well, they're not thinking about. They're making a phone, um, like a what is it? Like a store, pretty much like a Microsoft store for your phone.
Hmm.
Um, they're just doing they're just going above and beyond, and they're still keeping consoles within the ecosystem as well. So with all of that being said, it's just like all you really have to do is throw out content.
Yeah.
And if the content is that good, then I don't see why this would seem crazy at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Yeah. I see. I agree. I definitely agree with the market leader thing. I think 100 million for Game Pass subscribers is within the realm possibility, like well within the realm possibility, because exactly for the reason you just said, because of their platform, because it's just like the console, the phone. You've got, if they do this handheld device, hopefully it's native, like we said. But if they do that, you've also got PC, which is PC's massive. It's like the biggest, like statistically the biggest platform in gaming. So it's like you factor all that together, you assume we're at about 30 million. There was that thing where somebody on LinkedIn said that Xbox Game Pass was at about 30 million subscribers, and then they took it back. They deleted it off their profile. But you assume we're at about 30 million subscribers. 70 million more by 2030 doesn't seem crazy. Doesn't seem insane. Seems like it could happen. But yeah, I think the industry leader part is really interesting because I mean, you think about right now, all the good that Xbox is doing right now, it's like they still got a ways to go for that industry leader. And even if they hit that point where it's like statistically, like monetarily, they are the industry leader, I feel like even once they hit that point, the general consensus will be PlayStation is still the thing because that fan base is so big. It's just so big, and PlayStation is such a known name that even if Xbox technically is bigger, it's like I feel like it's going to take a long time for people to acknowledge that Xbox is the thing. But we'll see. It's interesting nonetheless, and it's good goals to have. I guess it's definitely good goals to have, and it obviously means they don't plan on giving up on gaming anytime soon. I know people before this generation were kind of fear mongering that. That doesn't seem to be the case. Does not seem to be the case
No,
anymore.
not even slightly at all. Like they couldn't be, in my opinion, more in debt to the game than they
Oh
are
yeah,
right.
they're very invested in gaming. They're incredibly invested. They are a down ass bitch with gaming. I'll tell you that. Oh my
I
god.
agree.
But yeah, that brings us to the end. I mean, there's some more stuff here. You know, you got an Xbox Cloud console, obviously, which I don't know. Are you interested in the cloud console for Xbox? Because I mean, for me, I'm not.
No. I mean, if they're gonna make a whole ass TV that has cloud in it, I'd rather just buy that than a console that
That's
does
something to look
cloud.
at.
You know what I mean? Like I'd rather like instead of spending two, three, $400 on a cloud console thing, then I'll just like unless unless this thing is supposed to be kind of like the whatever that keynote thing was or whatever it was called that was supposed to come out that was really supposed to be just kind of like a plug and play kind of thing. Unless it's a plug and play situation where it's really quick and the device is very small, then I don't want it. If it's the
Yeah.
size of something like a Series S, then I don't want it. I'd rather just have the Series S.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, if it's something small, tight, and works really well, and then I probably wouldn't mind having it depending on that price, as long as it's like if it's like $120 and comes with a controller, I'll rock.
Yeah, I think
But
that's a
if it's
reasonable
like
price.
But if it's like 200, 250, forget it.
No,
I don't
absolutely not.
care. I don't care if it came with a core controller. Forget it. Not doing it.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, if they're doing a whole ass big like Series S size console, I'd rather just buy a brand new smart TV that has cloud capabilities.
I'm interested. I wonder if they've. I mean, I would imagine they floated that idea, but just like that seems like it would be a good idea. Like an Xbox branded TV. Obviously, you partner with whoever you want to partner with. Samsung does amazing screen. Wait, it's not Samsung. It's LG that does amazing screens. LG does amazing
Yeah.
screens. Like you partner with LG or something, make an Xbox branded TV. I think that could work. And then you just have cloud on there. It comes with a controller or something. Like, dude, you would sell those TVs. You would definitely sell those TVs, especially if they were like actually great televisions, like HDMI 2.1 and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, you'd have to have different models and everything, but like, I'd be interested to see more on something like that if that ever were to exist. But yeah, that that's all the topics for the show, Ham. Do you have anything else to add, topic wise, before we get into the outros?
Other than Unity stinks.
Oh, dude, that's definitely worth mentioning. Unity does stink. They're very terrible, and they've had multiple chances to stink less, and they've just tripled down on stinking.
Yeah. They're
They're
like, we want to be some musty bitches.
they're awful. In case anybody doesn't know the whole Unity thing, they're basically saying that developers are going to be charged a fee for their games being downloaded, which absolutely screws indie developers. Me and Ham have a friend Cozy who's on bull sitting with us every Friday on Ham's channel. It's like she was using Unity, or she was planning to use Unity for her game, and now she's like, okay, I can't use that. So she's looking for a different engine because this whole, I guess, policy that they would enact is going to screw indie developers, especially someone who's making their first game like Cozy. That drives any of that away from your engine. That basically makes Unreal Engine look a lot more a lot more enticing to a lot more people. And then there's engines like Godot, which are even smaller engines that people are probably going to start looking at as well. But Unity, like at every chance they've had to like, I remember they've posted like 3 different things that look like letters where they're going to redact what they're doing, like letters where they're going to say, "Oh, sorry, my bad, we'll take it back." They've had like 3 of those letters on Twitter now, and each one of them says, "You know what? We're doing it." Every single one of them says, "Sorry guys, you're upset right now, but get over it because we're gonna do it." But it's worded like, we understand. We get why you guys are so upset, but you know what? You're just gonna have to get used to it. Is kind of what they're telling everybody. It's a bold move, honestly. I don't think it's gonna work very well for Unity. It seems like
Yeah,
a very desperate
cotton
move.
ain't buying it.
No, dude. You got indie developers, small all the way to big indie developers, just posting on Twitter like, this is fucking stupid. You guys suck. Like, dude, if you guys do this, we're never using that engine again. You saw an Exile post on Twitter. Oh, we're looking to charge you for downloads for your 10-year-old game, and an Exile's like, good luck with that. Good luck fighting with Microsoft over that, because Microsoft ain't gonna have that shit. It's like
Right.
it's dude, Unity's making enemies right now. It's not good. It's not a good look
Yeah,
for
and
Unity.
then they have the nerve to say, "Oh, we'll get Microsoft and Sony and then deal with it." They're just
And
like
Microsoft,
I just like I get why Unity's doing it. Like I see why they're doing it. They're doing it because they're seeing all of these other companies figure out ways to make money off of like some sort of subscription service,
yeah,
right? So they're like, hold on a second, you're taking games from our engine and they're no longer being like purchased exactly directly through one person, right? They're not being purchased at like a storefront by one person at a time and whatnot. You guys are giving like tons of people the opportunity to like play and use this engine um through third party or whatever subscription service. And then we have all these free to play games, so we're not really maybe raking it in the way that we would like to. Um, and not that we're really doing bad on money. We just see everybody else making more
Mhm.
money. We're wondering why we can't hop on that train too. So, so if you look at like some of like the fine print on that on what they're trying to do, they're trying to like they're pretty much saying give us a little bit for each of those downloads. Well, that little bit adds up to a hefty chunk
Oh
after
yeah.
so much to the point where you're now making a lot less than you probably should be making on your game, especially if it comes out to be popular.
Mhm.
Like, I get it. I get what they're trying to do, and I get that they're missing out on some of the bucks and whatnot, but you have to provide before you tell people to pay more. It's very much kind of like the same kind of sentiment that I get when I see that they raise the prices for like the PlayStation Plus subscription and stuff like that. I'm
Yeah.
just like, wait a second. You're asking me to give you more, but what are
Mhm.
you giving me?
Yep.
You know what I'm
100%.
saying? It's the exact same thing. Like, I mean, in that sense, where you're taking more of my money and time, but you're not giving me anything back in return.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I just think that's bullshit. And if they want to make more money, there's plenty of different ways to. But this just seemed like kind of shisty and like it really reminded me of the commercials back in the day when they're like, "Look out for hidden fees on your cable and satellite subscriptions and stuff like that. You'll never notice, but they'll tell you they'll sign you up for $60, $70 a month, and then you'll get the bill and see all these hidden fees that you didn't know." That's what Unity is reminding me of. They're
Mhm.
reminding me of that cable or satellite company with the hidden fees that you thought you were signing up for this, but somehow you're paying that bill in like half of in an extra half of
Yeah.
a bill and
I
a half.
I don't think it's like they're not doing anything different to justify all of a sudden, hey, all of a sudden we're charging you for downloads on a game. Why? What are you doing differently to justify that charge? Are you making my experience as a developer better? Are you doing something behind the scenes to make it better, easier for me as a developer to get my game out the door? Because if that's the case, then hey, fine, whatever. I don't like the charge, but do what you do. But if you're not doing anything and you're just doing this because of like what you said there, it seems like they're doing this because the subscription service is taking off and they're like, oh shit, we weren't ready for that. We got to make money somehow, and this is their way. It's like, it just seems desperate to me. It seems a little bit desperate. And I feel like they should honestly go back to the drawing board, figure out a way to actually offer something that developers, care about that could be beneficial for both parties. But as it stands now, this is a pretty shit move, and they seem very dedicated to going all the way through with this. So we will see, but that is not a good situation for Unity, and I don't think it's going to get any better as long as they keep doubling down on it. But yeah, that's the end of the topics. Unity making a fool of themselves, and Starfield hitting 10 million players. Xbox having the most gigantic leak, probably and definitely in their history. Definitely
I'd
in their
say
history.
in damn near gaming history almost. Like I don't
Yeah,
know any other leak that's come out to to be this wild, and the way that it came out makes it that much more like shocking because
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, oh, because we were arguing with the government and a leak came out, you know? Like, so that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, dude. It's a lot of information, and I'm sure somebody, whoever it was who didn't delete that document or didn't redact that document, they are probably in trouble. They are almost certainly in trouble right now. But yeah, it happened, and we got a bunch of news from it. So it sucks that it happened. It sucks that we found out all these things this way. But it's news to talk about. It's fun to talk about. It's fun to speculate, and that is what it is. But with that being said, we can head right into our outros and get up out of here. Ham, let people know where they can find you, bud.
Other than here every Wednesday, you can find me on my channel, TSWS Gaming. I do shows over there Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Tomorrow I got a show. It's going to be a little earlier in the day, but I'll be talking to a doctor, uh,
Ooh.
a gaming doctor, really. Somebody that looks into like the kind of like the neuroscience
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that that happens within gaming. Also answers a lot of questions about people's fears within gaming. So, like, is gaming bad for like people in the sense of like, does it make people want to become shooters
Yeah.
and like like the sickening side
Mm-hmm.
of uh, the blame that is gaming. So
Yeah.
so I get to ask her some of those kind of questions and stuff like that. If you're really interested in some of that scientific stuff that comes with gaming, definitely tune in tomorrow. TSWS Gaming is the channel.
Mm.
2 p.m. I believe is when the show is. Let me double check that on my calendar that I got right here. Yeah, tomorrow. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys pop up for that. That will be a good time. And then on Friday, bull sitting, me, Loke, Cozy, Matt likes games, and a guest. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we do that on that channel as well, TSWS Gaming. Other than that, you can find me on K Mega's channel as well. K Mega 405 for GRG every Friday. But that's about it.
Okay. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna try to drop your links in the chat, not mess it up this time because I messed it up twice right there. But I'm gonna drop those links in the chat for you guys so you can check out his channel. Definitely check that out. I'm gonna be there tomorrow to check that out because that's actually incredibly interesting to me. I'd like to hear what someone who's actually verified in that field has to say about
Yeah,
about everything.
her mantra at the end of every video is make sure you cite your sources. So she's very,
Hmm.
very on top of like having literature to back up what she said.
Yeah, and that's especially for that kind of the level of importance of that kind of field. It's definitely important. So I'm interested to hear what she has to say about everything. As for myself, you can find me here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You can find me on Ham's channel on Fridays. He just said bullsitting with him, Loke, and Cozy. Do that every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, so look forward to that. We also do a podcast with my buddy Mike in the chat as well. It's Mike, Twan, myself, and Ham. We do the Game Drain Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern. The last 2 weeks we've kind of missed because we've all kind of been doing different things. We've all been sick and everything. But it is what it is. We're going to try to get back this weekend back to it. But look forward to that. That's where you can find me. That's where you can find Ham. And with that being said, thank you for watching. We will see you in the next episode.